Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Drug and Alcohol Testing Software by TATSoft Apps. First off, I want to mention that the data you see here is all fictitious. These names are made up for demonstration purposes only. I wanted to describe today a button that's on the Edit Result window, and I'm going to show you that button here in a minute. But first, I need to lay a little groundwork to describe what that button's for. In any drug and alcohol testing software, you have a conundrum that you do not want to include people on random selections on your random selection report that do not work for the company yet. You don't want names showing up on your random reports where they are pre-employment and have not yet been hired. So on our random selection window here, when we select people for random selections, let's say here like York Health, if I picked it, and I said, go ahead and give me five. None of these people here have a drug test result of pre-employment. All these people actually work for the company. So when you're looking at the main window here, how do you change somebody from pre-employment to they've actually been hired and you want them to be included here on the random report window? And the way we do that is through a button that's on the edit result window that will put onboard in here in the test result. And once that test result is on board instead of pre-employment, when you go here to the random selection window, those individuals that are on board now will show up. So that's how we handle that situation. So, for example, here let's look at Cindy Miller here. Remember, these names are all made up. She is drug. That's drug random. So we need a pre-employment one. So let's instead look here at Sue Smith. And Sue Smith is drug pre-employment, and she works for Ames Trucking. So if I went to Ames Trucking right now, she would not show up in a random selection report because she's pre-employment. We don't know whether she got hired or not. And I'll show you that here in a minute. Let's go to Ames, and we're going to select Ames Trucking here, and there's six. So let's say six. Let's get all six that show up and get those random names. And you can see that she's not here, okay? Because she's pre-employment. Okay, so let's go back and now look at her. Now we're going to make her, she's got hired. So you've gotten notified from Ames Trucking that they indeed did hire Sue Smith. And now you want to include her on the random selection report window now. So how do you do that? Well, you simply select Sue Smith and you go to this edit result window. So let's do that. And you can see here that there's a button to onboard employee. We're going to onboard Sue Smith. She has now been hired. She's not in pre-employment status anymore, although that record is still saved in history. We are going to, and I also might mention that if this test result is anything except type pre-employment, this onboard employee button will not be enabled. It's only enabled when it's a pre-employment test result. So let's go ahead and onboard Sue Smith. Okay, record changed to onboard in Maine. So now if we look at Sue Smith, she is not pre-employment anymore. She got hired. So now she should show up if we go over here on a random selection window for Ames Trucking. Sue Smith should now show up. So let's come over here and we're going to do Ames Trucking. And now you see there's seven. Before there were six. So let's pick all seven again, like we picked them all last time, and get the random names. And right here you see now Sue Smith is included in the random report. Okay, so that's how we handle that in our drug and alcohol testing software. Once an employee gets hired, you simply change their test result status here to on board, and from then on, that person is actually got hired, and they will show up on a random selection report. Before that, if they're just pre-employment like this, they will not show up. Okay, so I wanted to talk about that button. Also, you'll notice here that if I select something that's not pre-employment, like this one, random, drug random, that's not pre-employment. If I go edit that result, you'll notice that this onboard employee button does not highlight, so it's not enabled. Okay, and it only enables when you have a pre-employment test result sitting right here. Okay. So that's how we handle that. I don't know how other software handles it, but that's the way we handle it. As far as pre-employment's not showing up in the random selections, and then having a way to say that that employee actually got hired. Now we want them to show up in the random selections. Okay, so that describes that button there that's on the edit result window, and that's what that button is for, on board. And then you look at the help here, and it discusses it as well. And remember, all of our windows have help buttons. And here you see on this help button, it tells you all about the onboard employee button, okay, and what it's for. All right, so that'll wrap up this quick demo. Thanks for watching. My name's Tom. Hope to hear from you soon. Thanks a lot.